Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to do a reading for the chosen. If you find this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. Also, if you want to order any of my services, feel free to shoot me an email, whether it's for my decks, my tarot lessons, tarot sessions. I still have the $55 special going on through about mid-April. So you can get a 30-minute session over the phone with me for $55. You can ask as many questions as you need to. So shoot me an email for that or any of my other services. Feel free to reach out. So we're going to start off with the Declare and Decree deck. If you like this deck, you can always reach out and order your deck. Okay, so let's see. Whatever comes out, you're going to write it on paper and burn it to clear it from your energy. And then we're going to jump right into the reading. So we are now in the new year. Officially, it's the new year. So the energy has shifted tremendously. I know over here in my area, the weather has been really weird. A couple of days ago, it started off with heavy winds. We had this dust that was all over the cars. So heavy winds, then it turned into rain and thunderstorming. This is in 24 hours. Then we had hail. Then by the next day, we had a couple of inches of snow. So that was in 24 hours, okay? So it's been real interesting moving into this new year. I feel like it's a lot of conflicting energies right now that's in the atmosphere as far as the powers that were wanting to maintain their position, and the chosen, we're putting our energy out there, setting our intentions. And so it's like this confusion, trying to recalibrate and regain balance here. So this says, all blockages, internal and external, that prevents me from experiencing a healthy love life are destroyed in spirit and in flesh. All blockages, internal and external, that prevents me from experiencing a healthy love life are destroyed in spirit and in flesh. So you can screenshot that, write it down, burn it, okay? So there could definitely be some interference that wants to deter you from having a healthy love life, okay? Whether it's romantically or otherwise. When it comes to just healthy relationships, it's looking like there's some sort of interference. So you want to put that on paper and burn it. So let's just see. What do you need to know at this time? So I'm using my IC Tarot deck. If you like this deck, you can always order it. We're starting off with the Tower. So this is unexpected shifts. We'll have to see what this is all about. What is this Tower? Unexpected shifts that are happening for the chosen. So, I have false friend. So this could be shifting somebody out of your life, okay? Somebody who was not genuine. This Tower could be bringing down an unhealthy relationship with a false friend. So let's just see. What is going to initiate this Tower? It's some sort of revelation. So the Ace of Pentacles is in a reverse. The Two of Swords. So you might have to block this person out because you might realize that they don't want you to take advantage of new opportunities. It's like you might realize that they're trying to block something. They're trying to block you from receiving something that could be very secure, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a new job. Somebody might be a little jealous that you have this new opportunity and they're wanting to interfere with that in some way. Let me see. What is this all about? Yeah, the Chariot. See, because you're moving forward. Nothing is holding you back now. So whatever blockages you might have had in your way, your pathway is now cleared. And it shows. I feel like you're very confident. You're not afraid to let people see that you're thriving and you're doing well. And so you might find that the false friends, yeah, you're working on something. The false friends are feeling some type of way about you having progression now. It's almost like you had a trauma bonding connection with whoever this person is, or maybe it's multiple people, but they did not want you to take advantage of this opportunity here. And so the Eight of Pentacles is you building something, like putting forth dedicated effort. You're not slacking, right? You're not procrastinating. You are fully committed and dedicated to whatever this is, and they're watching you build it. And For some of them, they want to be in denial, right? They don't even want to face the reality or accept that things are excelling for you. They wanted you at a crossroads and just kind of stuck. But you took the leap of faith with the Fool card here. This is a brand new beginning. So I feel like you didn't just take the leap of faith, but you used it as an opportunity to build your vision. Like, you're not just sitting on this opportunity, you are using this clean slate to create the vision that you desire. And things are taking off for you. You're very confident, you're very courageous. They might be a little bit jealous because you're bold enough to do things that they're not bold enough to do. So you're going to find that there are some conflictions between yourself and this friend. This friend could be a family member that you consider a friend. It could be an actual friend. Whoever this is, there's a tower, so there's the high priestess. I feel like you're becoming far more spiritual now. You're changing. You're starting to see things from a higher perspective. And the high priestess can move in silence. So this person might not like the fact that you're very, very selective about what you share with them. The high priestess uses her intuition, and she kind of feels through situations. So you're very selective with what you share with this false friend, and they don't like that. Maybe in the past, you used to be very vocal, you used to tell them a lot of things, and it helped them soothe their ego in some way. It made them feel superior to you, or it kind of helped them to not feel so bad about the drama that they was dealing with in their own personal life. But now you're far more silent, and it could be that the only thing that you do discuss is the fact that life is just good. You see what I'm saying? You don't have anything to complain about. And I think that this is rubbing this person the wrong way. So with the tower, let me see. Yeah, see, I have the moon and the 9 of Pentacles. So it's like, it's almost like they have this sudden revelation about you. You might even start to realize that this person was the culprit that was behind the scenes, sending the evil eye, hoping that things would not progress for you in multiple areas of your life. I feel like you're going to have more clarity about that. It could be a sudden revelation, some sort of intuitive nudge. It could be a dream. It could just be something where you're like, wow, that's how they really felt. But it's like you know it to be true, because the high priestess has spiritual knowledge, but she doesn't reject that knowledge, right? Because she understands that it's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than what she's able to acquire in the 3D. So you get some sort of sudden revelation about this person, and you start to look at them more, look at them differently, and you start to realize that you can move forward independently. You don't need their energy in order to thrive. Matter of fact, you've been thriving a lot more without this person being all up in your business and just trauma bonding. So I feel like there's this new beginning that's happening. Let me see. Yeah, the World is here. Right behind that is the 5 of Swords. See, you're closing out that chapter. I feel like you're starting to look at this like, man, what was you involved in? You're starting to see that being around that person, it just brought a lot of drama and chaos into your life. There was nothing positive about it. So with the World here, it's like it's like you pave your own way. Very confident, but you're also attracting people who are inspired by you. If you haven't begun to attract these people, you will. So I think you're starting to see that having certain people around you is just not, it holds no weight. It doesn't allow you to grow. It doesn't allow you to progress. If anything, it takes you backwards. It keeps you stagnant. It keeps you having the wrong types of thoughts. And so having that low vibrational energy around you, you're just starting to see that it needs to be cleared out. You're shedding energies that no longer match your frequency. So you might even find that when you communicate with this person, they're still coming through with the drama. They're still telling you about the crazy scenarios. It's like there's no growth. If you find that, because it's one thing to go through a season, maybe even 2 seasons where it's just chaotic, right? That usually happens because a person hasn't learned to love themselves enough to disconnect and detach from certain energies or certain behavior patterns or certain ways of thinking. But you are coming out in the high priestess energy, which shows that you've done a lot of work on yourself spiritually. So you might find that when you communicate with this person, it's always some crazy stuff that's still going on years later, and it's still crazy stuff that's still going on. So then it's like, when does that cycle end? We're getting older. So when do we outgrow foolery? Do you just, you're going to start to evaluate this and realize that this person is a magnet to drama, right? Very attracted to it. And so they stay in it. But the fact that you're rising out of that energy and you're surrounding yourself with a different type of energy is going to highlight the fact that y'all really don't have much in common anymore now that you've healed. So the Queen of Wands is here. You might find that this person is a little bit jealous because they're going to start to see that not only is your life changing, but you're physically changing. You're starting to look better. You're starting to glow. You're starting to have more energy, and you're starting to pursue your visions. You're becoming more creative. They're watching you from behind the scenes have this glow up, and they don't like it. They don't like that you're persistent and consistent. Look at that. There's the Ace of Pentacles. So now this Ace of Pentacles is in the upright. It was in the reverse next to the Tower initially. They wanted you to postpone or to hold back on taking advantage of an opportunity. They was trying to convince you to do that. They really wanted the Tower to come down on a opportunity that would have really taken your life 50 steps ahead. It's almost like they was trying to convince you to blind yourself to this opportunity. But now that you've taken a leap of faith, despite their opinion, you're literally thriving. So you're starting to see that this person never meant you well, because if they really wanted to see you do well, they would have suggested that you move towards the opportunity and not hold yourself back. So I feel like it's going to make you look at this person differently. Yeah, you're coming out as the Emperor, so you're bossing up. You make your own executive decisions. You don't need nobody. The Emperor is the leader. They're not a follower by any means at all. But it takes a lot of work to sit on this throne. You can't just get access to this type of throne without putting in the work and embodying the other four kings. So learning how to communicate, being direct, being logical, but also that's the King of Swords. And then stepping into the King of Cups, where you're emotionally balanced. You have emotional intelligence. You know how to handle your situations without becoming overly emotional. And then the King of Wands is being confident, pursuing your creative ideas, not just sitting on them, but being very, it's also the leader card. And then the King of Pentacles is security, getting your coins in alignment and grounding yourself. So I feel like you've embodied, it shows that you've embodied all of these energies. And so you've outgrown these types of relationships. This is not the king. The Emperor would never find himself in the midst of this type of energy, ever. He would never get off his throne to go and sit amongst these type of people. So I feel like you're starting to evaluate these types of relationships where it's like, yeah, that was my past life, but it don't serve me now. And so people are watching you level up, like in big ways. And they're mad because they should have taken advantage of these opportunities if they had them, or they just need to sit down and do some work to heal. But some of these people are codependent on you. They're codependent on your downfall. They're waiting for the Tower to happen, because then they feel like, okay, now they got their friend back. Now they can talk about all the drama. Now they have somebody to get into drama with, right? But you're not going to be that supply for them anymore. And so the Four of Wands is a happy foundation. It's a happy life. Your home life is stable. It's peaceful. You're making beautiful memories now. There's a lot of celebratory energy around you. And the Strength card is here. You practice self-discipline now. You're not just, because the Strength card in the upright shows that your solar plexus has healed. So self-discipline. You've let go of certain patterns, certain habits where you might have been tempted or lured in, or maybe overly, consumed with different temptations that didn't serve you, and you wasn't able to hold yourself back. Now you're like, I'm practicing self-discipline. You're in your power. Let's just put it that way. So this is intimidating for a lot of people. Um, but what's most intimidating is that you're moving in silence, and the things that you do talk about, it's all positive things. So somebody, a false friend, they don't like that. So you may find that you end up blocking this person out, um, because now you're starting to see the true nature of that person's energy. Or you might just become more and more turned off by the drama. Like, even if you don't block them out, or there's not an upheaval that causes the connection to fall, it's more like this revelation that shows you, like, man, that's not what I want. And it just becomes a nuisance. It's like a fly just buzzing in your ear, like, get away, So the Two of Cups is here. I see you coming into union with very healthy connections, people that are on the same page as you, and you're moving forward. This is you turning your back and only looking ahead. So I feel like you're very detached from that. The past is no longer who you are. And some people, or this person here, is having a hard time embracing your transformation. So it's like, now it's like oil and water. You just don't mix. So this could be, let me see if I can get some advice from as far as this is concerned. So I have the waiting game, awaiting results, and transformation. So two cards that's talking about waiting. So this is growth here. Both of these cards are showing a plant. So the waiting game is here. You've planted some seeds and you're waiting to see the harvest. There's a lot of growth that's happening, I feel, because now you don't have all the wrong energies trampling all over your seeds, or damaging your soil, or, just choking out your plants, weeds and all of this other stuff. So it looks like the energy has shifted to where you're in the right climate to see growth in certain areas of your life. I feel like in all areas of your life. So with the card of the waiting game, it's just a matter of divine timing at this point, because you have the card of transformation. So the more that you go through the transformation, the more that you're going to see your external reality shift in a positive way. So the more that you become a positive person, healthy minded person, the more that you plant seeds towards your own growth, the more that you're going to see the external manifestation of that transformation. So your finances will improve, your love life will improve, the type of people that you attract into your life will be more positive energies, doors will open, new creative ideas will flow through. It's a lot of different things that's going to change for you as time progresses. Yeah, because the bottom of the deck says heal. So you see the chains have been broken off of this person. I don't feel like you're looking back at all. I feel like you're going to start to see the value in just focusing in on those things that brings growth. And anything that does not bring growth or progression in a positive direction, I feel like you are completely turning away from it because it doesn't serve you. So you have emotional withdrawal here. So this is a person, they're sitting outside by themselves, meditating in nature. So it just shows you're going to start to withdraw yourself emotionally from certain connections. So this false friend, I feel like you're going to detach more and more. The more that you transform, the more spiritual that you are, the more that you heal yourself, the less you see the value in keeping that person in your energy. I'll take one more. So you have teach. So some of you are meant to be a teacher. You're meant to inspire other people. You're meant to be in the spotlight in some way. So you're being called to really just pour into your vision, pour into yourself. And you'll find that those people, it's like what I'm hearing is when a teacher is ready, when a student is ready, the teacher appears. So it's like you're preparing for a higher calling. And you may not see it now. Some of you are already in that calling. For others of you, you're transforming, getting prepared to step into that calling. And it's going to require for you to disassociate yourself from people who are not putting in the work to grow. Or if they're not willing to receive the advice that you give them on how they too can change, how they too can transform, if they're not willing to actually execute, right? Put forth the effort to become a better person, then I could see you emotionally withdrawing and really focusing in on learning new things and also teaching others new things and being very loyal and committed to that path. So yeah, this says stand your ground. You have, that's the number 7. You have another number 7 right behind that, and that's the crown chakra. So it looks like the stand your ground. Wow, you have 777 here. So you have the awaiting results. That's the number 7. The crown chakra, and then stand your ground. So that's dealing with spirituality. The number 7 is the number of spirituality. It is showing me that you have a calling to teach. And your messages could be more spiritually based. And it's going to require for you to stand against the opposition, because you might, before the 7 of Wands, you have the 6 of Wands, which is recognition and reward. You could be in a spotlight. You could be doing something on social media where people are starting to gravitate towards you. But then the opposition comes in where people want to try to slow you down. They want to try to distract you, where you're more focused on protecting your energy when you should be more focused on nurturing the seeds that you've planted. So I can see where there's going to be, I feel like it's the card of protection too. So your spiritual team, they are protecting you. And as long as you operate from a space of love and integrity, everything is still going to go your way. You have the spiritual strength card. So you're spiritually strong, and you have a strong spiritual team that's backing you. Bottom of the deck says step into your power, Aries energy. So that's definitely showing that in this season, there's going to be this surge of energy. The surge, like the energy is going to gain momentum. Things are going to start picking up. And there's this sense of freedom where you're able to just take off and really pour into your visions here. So I don't see this energy having a negative impact on you anymore. I feel like at one point they did. But see, the 6 of Cups is in a reverse. So you know the type of memories that you held with this person. So now this is the Hermit card. A lot of you are going to go ghost on these unhealthy friendships. You're going to realize that, yeah, you put in a lot of time in building something that it was never stable to begin with, right? It was always an unstable, unhealthy foundation from the beginning. So with the Page of Cups in reverse, I could see you rejecting that person's offer. Because, yeah, there's the Page of Swords. This person, they're very immature. They're not growing. And y'all could be the same age. This person could be older than you, but they're not growing. So the Hermit next to the Pages, there's no comparison. The Hermit is very wise, and they're very comfortable in their solitude. They learn a lot in their solitude. This person is a scholar. They study. They look into things that actually enhances their intellect and their wisdom. But the Pages, Page of Swords in the reverse and the Page of Cups in the reverse, Pages are childlike energy. Somebody is not growing. So it's like you would turn away from them and reject their offer because they're not bringing anything to enhance your life. A lot of gossip. 9 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you're releasing that. So the 8 of Wands, like I said, things are going to pick up. Especially now in the new year. There's the Ace of Wands that I was looking for. So brand new opportunities, new creative ideas, fast forward movement, and lots of passion and energy to be able to fulfill your vision. So there's no shortage of that. You're going to be able to move forward and down your path unobstructed. So I'm going to take one message from my book. I think I'm going to read... Let me see, I gotta find it. So I'm going to look at message 25 because that breaks down to a 7, especially since that was the last synchronistic number that I saw. So this says, this is the perfect moment to prioritize yourself after dedicating so much time and energy to supporting others' dreams and desires. You are no longer losing yourself by trying to hold on to people who didn't reciprocate your support. As you nurture yourself holistically, you recognize the importance of protecting your energy and establishing healthy boundaries. You are no longer shouldering the burdens and traumas of others. Instead, you're focused on becoming the best version of yourself. This commitment enables you to grow and attract like-minded individuals who contribute positively to your life without draining your resources. Message 25. Straight like that. So that pretty much gave a real clear summary of what we just spoke about. If you want to order that book, you can always email me. This book is called Guided Light, full of channeled messages. Just open it up and read the message. That's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll talk to y'all next time.